Yo dog, Kenny Boucher here, Next Level Painting, hitting you up with another painting tutorial. It's Wednesday, and it's part 2 of the Admech Triaros. Before we jump into that video though, I got a couple of shout outs from the Patreon page. Some brand new patrons. Geoff, Johnny, Joel, Eric, Chuck, and Aaron. Thank you guys. Your support is what allows me to continue to do this. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Please, if you get an opportunity, jump over to Patreon, take a look at it. Throw me some money or don't. Either way, I still love you guys. In the meantime, let's jump into this Triaros part 2. We're going to jump on the whites, a little bit more of the technical effects. We're going to finish up these tracks and everything, and that's going to conclude this video. Alright guys, let's crush out part 2 of the Admech Triaros. As you can see here, starting to slap some of the trim on these armor pieces. Just did that real quick, super fast overview. But we're moving right into the dry brush stage. We're going to just straight dry brush Vallejo steel all up over this typhus corrosion that we laid down in these tracks. You guys have seen me do this before. This is still one of my favorite techniques. It comes out so good. It's so hard to match this, time, quality, all that assessment. Like, you can't match this effect. It's so good. It's so easy to do. And as you can see, it's coming together very antique. A lot of depth to the model. Typhus corrosion is looking really fresh on there, and the raised surfaces are getting hit with that dry brush. It is everything you want in a weathered track. That's pre-technical effect, obviously. And we're just going to go straight into dry brushing the side panels, going all out, just go straight beast mode. We're going to do more to it later, but this is the groundwork. You got to get your dry brush game on lock. It is such an easy technique. You can Google it. You can watch a million YouTube tutorials about how to do it. I try to condense it here. I'm not trying to linger on it too hard. But we are going to dry brush these vents too. Just come in with a little bit more sloppier dry brush. Just kind of streakier, you don't dry off the paint as much, because I'm going to come back over with some of the rust effects anyway, so I want to make sure that I have enough paint loaded up in my brush and I can actually get this effect done with only a few strokes. And we're going to move right into the RZA rust stage. This is the best rust in the biz right now. But you have to come in and control this. You can't just sponge this on. I'm going to come in with a paintbrush and I'm going to control the application here. This is going only where I want it to go. No messing around here. You can't cut a corner when you do this. It won't look good if you randomize it with a sponge. You got to put it in the right spots. Find those little areas where the bolts all come together. Where things taper off. Just got to spend time with it, use the right brush, be patient, put your music on, jam out, and get it done. Hopefully this is a good guide to where to put the rust. I try not to overthink it though, so full disclosure, I'm not a scientist. I don't know where rust goes. and take a look at this tank, by the way. This is a huge tank. I was not prepared for how massive these Triaroses are. But they are cool looking. They look like giant trains, and they just bust things up when they ram into them. Just taking my time, slowing my roll, bringing that rust in all the spots I want. I do like to go kind of heavy though. I like to feather the rust and then make sure that my points are very orange, because it's just so striking. Such a fun color. And now we're going on the tracks. This is a rehearsal and consistency. Find the rhythm you want to be in, where you want the rust to be, and just see how fast you can do that the same way over and over again. And that's what I'm doing here on these tracks. Very simple when you think about it like that. Just moving along, and you can see the left track is done, and it looks really good. It looks like exactly how you'd expect a beat up but yet used track. you know, on some ridiculous off-world, you know, corrosive environment. Because I'm not a scientist, I don't know what these things do. But like, take a look at these portals on the top too, man. Like, this thing has got a lot of interesting details. I really found myself just hobbying out on the Triaros, having a lot of fun with it, you know? It was not easy to paint, but it was fun to paint. Sometimes you need one of those. Here's a step that I always talk about. You got to come back in with the Typhus Corrosion and sponge it back on over some of the places you got a little too heavy-handed with the orange. And that's what I'm doing here. Just a little piece of pluck and pull foam. Some Typhus Corrosion. Just sponge it on. Just go heavy. And then now come back to the oxide effect. Pulling out that teal oxide, use a little bit of water, thin it down. Go in, apply it liberally, but watery, to all the spots that you think it should go. Scientifically, of course. So just always remember, be liberal, but also be methodical with this effect. This effect is a game changer, but it can also punish you. Try to make sure you have some water ready to go, use the right kind of brush, and be ultimately patient. Super patient. You know, this is the grind, you know what I mean? Like, this is where you just have to zone out, do the same thing every time, just get it done. Knock it out. I do have a few other videos on how to do these technical effects. Don't forget to check out the video library under tutorials playlist, and you will see that I have at least 2 other videos where I utilize these effects. And I mean, take a look at it. I mean, it looks beat up, man. And now I'm going to take that oxide into some of these creases and some of these lines, and I'm just going to put it in there. I don't even care. Like, science, you know what I mean? Just going to go in there, lay it down, try to cultivate the effect that I'm looking for, and just go out on a limb, man. See if it works, you know? Sometimes you just got to be, you know, you got to explore. Go, you know, but don't half-ass an effect. I mean, like, we're committed to this effect. You got to go everywhere you think this oxide would be. All these control panels, everything on the side. Just come in, get it done. Slow, methodical, but pay attention and be liberal with this application process. Like I said, just got to get deep in there. This is also a good way to kind of cover your ass on some like spillage and some overspray. I'm going in deep, and I'm just kind of, you know, marrying 2 little areas together in some situations. Like, you can use this to really help break up weird spots in the model. Something that you might have gotten caught up, like, I don't know what to do here. This is what you do there. Come in, find a spot for it, get it done. I love these weathering effects. These GW, they got it done. Anyway, let's move on to these little shield generators. You've seen me do this before. We're going to drop some OSL technique on these little void shields. Meridia's blue. That's my heat. And we're going to couple that off with Arcane Blue. These are both Privateer Press P3 formula paints. Start always with the darker blue, go to the lighter blue, and then eventually go to white. That is essentially OSL in a nutshell. Spill it out dark, bring it in light to the center, and it radiates out. Then eventually just a little pure white in the center, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, it's glowing. I mean, it's so easy. But you got to be subtle with it. You can't go crazy. Next, we're going to pull out some Harvest Brown Reaper Master Series. I'm going to start browning up some of these areas on the side of this tank. And then we're going to pull out Orange Brown from the Reaper Master Series. And we're going to keep that brown alive. You'll see like it's starting to look really gritty in there. This is a fun technique. The Harvest Brown and Orange Brown are the 2 most important browns that any hobbyist can possibly buy. Go online, buy them right now. You will thank me, and you're welcome in advance. They're just so good. And here's the Orange Brown coming in, spotting on some nuts, some bolts, coming in, hitting the little creases in there. This really drives home the rust effect. I mean, this is such a good color. That, like I said, once again, that's Reaper Orange Brown Reaper Master Series. You see I'm coming in, dropping it off on some of those weird, that weird ram it has coming into the tracks. You can really just start blending all the techniques together with this final airbrush technique. Works so well. And then, of course, you got to finish off with black. Come in there and just burn out some of the final pieces with black. You'll thank me for it later. Vallejo Air Black. Best black in the game. Some people don't agree with me on it, but hey, buying a water Eclipse, you'll probably be happy with Vallejo Air Black. Yeah, the Power 3 when doing an airbrush weathering technique. Harvest Brown, Orange Brown, and Black. Can't go wrong with it. Let's jump right into the add-ons though. We're going to use Vallejo Black Metal. We're just going to blast these things up. Just go to town. Crush them all out. You can see what we have here. Something pretty simple. And we're going to come in with a light dry brush. You guys remember the dry brush technique? Once we dry, I mean, I'm not even going to show you how to dry brush. But what we're going to do now is OSL those little plasma coils. Same technique we used before on the Void Shields. Meridian Blue, Arcane Blue, and White. Very simple, but adds a lot to the model. Once we're done with all that though, we're going to use glazes. A glaze gets the job done. It's like a wash but brighter. Come in, make sure you get the OSL right. Make sure you let it dry though. That's another little gem. Don't sit there and glaze it right after you finish airbrushing it. You'll just end up ruining everything. I won't even show you the glaze stage. Take my word for it. That's glazed right there. It OSL'd, we glazed it, done. You saw I even started painting out some of the details on the skull. Didn't really have time to show you all those little processes, but as you can see, what we have here is a really cool model with a bunch of fun little details on it. Take a look at my gallery. I've got a billion pictures of this. nextlevelpainting.net. Check out the galleries. Check out all the close-ups, etc., etc. Thanks for checking that video out, guys. I'm really excited to talk about the Long War. The Long War is going to be moving to a membership-based portal here soon in April. We're going to have the ability to take money in, support, aka donations, and give something back. That will be early access to 3 amazing YouTube channels. The Long War, Next Level Painting, and Spiky Bits. That is how you bring hobby back. We're talking, how do you build these models? How do you assemble them? How do you paint them? And how do you play with them? The illest, tightest new tactics. That's where Juice comes in as the host of the Long War Battle Reports. So very soon, we're gonna have some stuff. A portal, a domain, everything. We're gonna keep you guys updated here. But what that means in the short term for Next Level Painting is I'm gonna skip a week coming up soon. I don't know if it's this week or the next week, because I'm gonna be in the Beats Laboratory building these videos so I can get ahead of the content curve. I will put out a couple more videos on the channel in the meantime, letting you guys know what we're trying to do on what timeline. And to the patrons out there on my Patreon page, you guys never have to worry. Whatever we're doing on these other membership-based pages, my executive level donators, you have the same access. I'm not trying to ever hold content back. What we're talking about is people are going to get early access to content. That is it. Just a way for me to say thanks for throwing money our way. This is the only way we can keep this going. And we might even have a cool message board, a lot of cool stuff. We have a lot of ideas right now, but April is the month of change. In the meantime, thanks for watching, players. Yo dog, thanks for checking out my channel. And don't forget, I've got plenty of other tutorials, tips and tactics, and many more. Also, if you get a chance, check out my best friend Robbie B's channel, Spiky Bits. He's got tons of sick videos dropping. Thanks for watching.